The Galactic Council had made many mistakes in their millennia of existence, but none quite as catastrophic as the decision recorded in Archive File 7749 Omega. Target acquisition approved for Sol 3 juvenile population centers. Estimated harvest: 2.3 million specimens for labor conscription. Ambassador Kethvar of the Hegemony still remembered the day the human delegation had walked into the council chambers. They hadn't stormed in with weapons drawn or voices raised in fury. They had simply walked in, quietly taken their seats, and waited. "We're here to discuss terms," the human representative had said, her voice carrying the weight of winter itself. The council had laughed. Humans were barely a century into interstellar travel, their military technology decades behind the youngest council species. What terms could they possibly offer? That was 6 months ago. Now, as Kethvar stared at the tactical display showing 17 hegemony worlds gone dark, he understood they had never been dealing with a mere diplomatic protest. They had awakened something primal, something that had carried humanity from cave paintings to starships in the blink of an evolutionary eye. "Report," he commanded, his forearms trembling slightly as his aide approached. "Sir, the humans they've done something to their ships. Our sensors can barely track them anymore. They're moving through space like it's an ocean, not vacuum. And their weapons—" The aide's translator struggled with the concept. "They've weaponized their own mortality, sir." Kethvar's primary eyes focused on the display. The humans had indeed done something unprecedented. While every other species in the galaxy had spent centuries perfecting shields, armor, and defensive systems, humanity had stripped their ships down to the bare minimum. No life support redundancies, no escape pods, no safety protocols. They had turned their vessels into guided missiles piloted by volunteers who considered themselves already dead. "The Kythera Defense Fleet?" he asked, though he dreaded the answer. "Gone, sir. The humans, they sang while they died. Our intercepted communications recorded them singing children's lullabies as they rammed our dreadnoughts." The aide pulled up a holographic recording. Kethvar watched in horrified fascination as a small human ship, its hull breached and bleeding atmosphere, carved through a Kythera battlecruiser's shields like they were paper. The pilot's voice could be heard over the comm. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. How many ships did they lose taking out our fleet?" "One, sir, just one." Kethvar felt his secondary stomachs clench. The Kythera fleet had been 12 capital ships strong. The mathematics of that exchange rate made no sense by any conventional military doctrine. "Sir," the aide continued, "there's something else. Intelligence reports that the humans aren't just fighting us. They're learning. Every engagement they adapt faster than our tactical computers can compensate. It's as if they're treating this entire war as a single organism's immune response." The display shifted to show the latest battle reports. Human forces had begun, appearing in impossible locations, their ships translating out of hyperspace inside planetary atmospheres, inside space stations, sometimes materializing within meters of critical infrastructure. They fought with a creativity that bordered on insanity, using everything from hijacked cargo haulers to weaponized mining equipment. But it wasn't the tactical innovation that terrified the council species. It was the humans' complete disregard for the established rules of warfare. They didn't target military installations first. They didn't follow proper escalation protocols. They had immediately begun hunting the children of those who had taken their children. "The Nexari Prime Colony?" Kethvar asked. "Evacuated. The humans, they didn't fire a single shot, sir. They simply announced that any species' offspring found on worlds that participated in the raid on Earth would be relocated to educational facilities for their own protection. The Nexari evacuated 3 billion juveniles in 48 hours, rather than test whether the humans were bluffing." Kethvar's translator barely managed the next words. "Were they bluffing?" "Unknown, sir. No one has been willing to find out." The tactical display updated again, showing human ships positioned in a perfect sphere around the Council's primary seat of government. Not attacking, not threatening, just waiting. Each ship broadcast the same message on loop, a child's voice asking, When are we going home? They're using our own young against us, Kethavar realized. They know we can't fire on those positions without risking Council Central's infrastructure. But more than that. He paused, understanding dawning like a cold star. They're showing us what they could have done, what they chose not to do. His aide nodded grimly. The human fleet could have glassed every populated world in the sector. Sir, instead they chose precision. They chose to make us feel what they felt when they found empty schools and playgrounds. How many of their children did we take? The exact number is classified, sir, but intelligence estimates. How many? Kethavar's voice carried the authority of someone who had helped plan the operation. 736,412 confirmed abductions from 17 Earth population centers. Kethavar closed all four eyes. Each human child taken had become a weapon of impossible precision, a guided missile of parental fury launched across the galaxy. The humans hadn't just declared war, they had declared a hunt that would continue across generations until every child was returned or every enemy world was ash. Sir, incoming transmission from the human fleet. The display changed to show the same human woman who had walked into the council chambers 6 months ago. She looked older now, her hair streaked with premature gray, her eyes holding depths that spoke of choices no parent should have to make. Ambassador Kethavar, she said, her voice still carrying that winter weight. We're still here to discuss terms. Around her, the lights of 1,000 human ships waited in the darkness, each one a promise that humanity had learned the galaxy's most important lesson. Those who hunt the pack's young discover what happens when the pack removes its chains. The war had lasted 6 months. The hunt, Kethavar realized as he prepared to surrender, would last until every human child came home, or until there was nothing left to surrender to.